All my friends digging dollar boxes. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. All my friends digging bargain boxes. Welcome to No Bangers, episode
God,
60.
we needed another 20 seconds of that.
I don't know, man. I feel like we might have lost people if I'd have gone.
No, we always lose people. We actually have a lot of our views out at about 7 seconds.
Thanks, Tim.
Well, we're only 7 episodes away from 6, 7, guys.
Yeah,
Episode number 60. I am joined by the illustrious co-host, Mr. Rod from Picking and Punching Cards. He's man. The syringe came through the screen on that one. And Cary from American Arbitrage Cards. And I am Tim from Over the Years Sports. Don't forget, we will be putting out, courtesy of John from the Cincinnati Picker, Dinosaurs Don't Exist and Barry Bonds Never Took Steroids t-shirts coming soon to the No Bangers catalog. So stay tuned for that. Also, big shout out on Dibdit Cards. Congratulations to Trash to Treasure, who won this month's contest for the most items sold during the month of February, outside of obviously myself and these two jabronis and Kevin and Dave. And then big shout out to E. Perry, aka Ethan. Shout out to Ethan. He won the blaster box for the most transactions bought during the month of February. So tune in, join us in Dibdit Cards during the month of March. We will be running the contest back again for one seller and one buyer, so it should be a lot of fun. I just want to give a big shout out to them and a shout out to everybody. There are a lot of people who watch this podcast and they enjoy this podcast, and they say that we're getting them back into sports cards, and I think that is the best part about creating content. Like
100%.
when you are able to inspire people, encourage people, and they tell you things like that. To me, that's the best part.
I love the editing. I love the editing. I love the hours and hours of editing.
Hours and hours of editing.
Dude, it's funny that you say that because I went to a wedding this weekend and I was at one of my buddies. We were, I guess, in college, you have your drinking buddies. Like you guys go to the bars together, you try to, you hang out and stuff like that. But someone I'd known for 20 plus years. And he comes out to me, he's like, "Hey, you idiot." He's like, "Why don't you invite me to your card rippings?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't know you like cards." He's like, "I've been watching your videos." He's like, "I love cards as a kid." He's like, "I'm going to come over and rip cards," because me and my buddies have been getting together like once a month.
The last picture you posted of the last rip party was crazy. I was like, more than I ripped an entire year.
So it started out with just me and two of my buddies, and it happened that I went out for my buddy's birthday, and I would tell them I had to leave early because I had to do a break on Dibdit Cards, and then I had them download the app and say, "Hey, just check this out," and they bought into it, and ever since then, like they've been just hooked to buying cards, and they've been ripping blasters and mega boxes. They bought the first. It's like that. It's funny as you watch the evolution of people when they get back into cards, because they start with a blaster, work way up to a mega box, and then they eventually bought a hobby box, and then like they're dabbling stuff like that. But
and then they get to a case, right?
What's the Pokemon evolution of somebody getting back into just ripping like that kind of stuff? You start, just with like a blaster box, then you go to a mega box, right?
Did I just explain that?
No, but where do you end?
That's a good question.
What's the end evolutionary form?
Bankruptcy.
Are you just doing national treasures and just crying? I mean, that's what I'm asking.
Chapter 13, my friend. That's where I'm headed right now. Chapter 13.
No, you go back to the retail because that's what you got to do.
Yeah. So I just
the circle of
death.
Score 90 cello.
No, you're just doing junk wax because the amount of cards you get per box.
Yeah,
it's a good deal.
But it's funny is like so I was saying is like we got together as just three of us, and then we added a fourth, and then someone reached out from watching my videos. He sent me I looked at my thing. I haven't texted with this guy in like a year or two, and he sent me a picture of a downtown. He goes, "Hey, I went to Walmart, bought my first mega box, and they hit a freaking Cam Ward downtown with Vince Young, a dual downtown."
Is this Rockstar Flipper?
No, it's not him. No, so.
Does he still have 70,000 1990?
Yeah, did you buy that collection?
No, I did not buy that collection. No, I'm staying away from that collection. But no, it's cool, man. It's evolved, and now like we have a group chat going, and like, but then it also too is my one buddy. He's trying to get his son involved in cards. His son is 8 years old, and like he'll bring him over and he'll open a pack. He's not so like into it the way we are, but it's cool to watch his like face light up when he sees a cool card. So for him, it's just the what the card looks like is appealing to the kids, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But it's just cool. It's like I come full circle because growing up, me and my dad would sit down on like a Saturday night. We would watch Mike Tyson box or some type of boxing event, and we would have a box of cards. Like we were chasing like the Shaquille O'Neal rookie cards at that time, or open up baseball, football. So it's come full circle.
You're like opening the pack. You're like, oh my gosh, it's a Kobe Bryant rookie. You look up, just Mike Tyson's ripping Evander Holyfield's ear off.
Pretty much.
Is that like a real core memory?
Yeah. I wish I would have pulled a Kobe Bryant back then, but no. Pretty much.
There's some.
I did. I opened a lot of 96, 97.
Yeah.
You guys eat some ears. I like pig ears, right? You can eat pig ears. Pig ears are pretty good.
Isn't that what you give dogs? That's a pig ear you give the dog.
No.
You've never had chicharron before?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could eat pig ears and all sorts of things. Yeah.
No, I haven't. So
really
don't
good.
waste.
I have a new food Facebook page. If you guys want to join that, it's called Married with an Appetite. So
I at first thought it was like one of those like Facebook groups for like an adult relationship site. At first, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, what is Tim doing?
Tim Swinger
Married with an Appetite. I'm like, okay, is he trying to sell? Is he doing like the MLM thing, trying to sell, accoutrement to his followers? I don't know.
See, my first impression would be that would have been like a swinger type of thing.
Stuff.
Accoutrement is just stuff.
Accoutrement would be like fixings for like a food, but yeah, I just used it improperly.
We should change. We should have at the National, instead of bargain boxes at trade night, we should have accoutrement boxes.
No, we shouldn't have anything like that.
Box in French. We could go all French if we're gonna do it. Let's be really, really fancy.
Hey, before I forget, I gotta give a full disclosure out to the viewers today.
I'm upset we don't have a chin strap anymore. Why are you doing a normal beard now?
We'll talk about it in a second. But no, I'm gonna give full disclosure. I feel like today's podcast might get a little heated, guys. All right. I think we got some very interesting topics about stuff that's been going down. Bacon. But it's gonna get heated a little bit later on here. I don't know. I feel it in my blood today. So
I kind of do smell bacon too. I'm not lying. I think Don made bacon as well. So that's funny. Or I'm smelling the bacon from your house.
Have you ever put peanut butter on bacon before?
I don't like peanut butter, man.
No. You don't like peanut butter?
I've just started eating it a little bit after hating it my whole life.
Reese's
chunky or smooth?
It's got to be smooth. I don't like the texture of chunky, but like growing up, I hated peanut butter. I was forced sometimes to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I hated it. And then Dawn sometimes gets the Reese's Pieces like candies, like M&M's.
Reese's peanut butter,
and I can stand those. The peanut butter cups, I'm not sure, they might be too much for me.
Okay, next time, excuse me, take the peanut butter and the jelly and put it in a bowl and whip it up and then put it in the freezer and then take it out and eat it after it's frozen. It's really good.
Listen, enough about your stupid little new Facebook.
No, he's married with an appetite. Okay?
M&M, whatever page you got going on right now, right? You can save that for that. We're here.
So far, it's just plates of food. So
we're here to talk cards, all right?
I just did a glazed donut review, so check it out, Cary.
Oh my gosh,
I will, dude. I will, dude. That's such a hack. Start a food page and just review your food you're eating. Oh my gosh, I love it. That's a great idea. I love it.
I'm working my way up.
Yeah, too. You work in restaurants, so I just served at Olive Garden. I shouldn't be doing a page like that, but you know your stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's a great idea. I mean, I wish the 50 million people before him didn't start one too. So way to think outside the box, Tim. Way to think outside the box on that one. I thought Cary was frozen. He was just like,
I was for like half a second. I was like, what's going on?
This might be the best first 10 minutes of our podcast.
Or the worst. I don't know. It's debatable. Leave it up to the audience. I mean, I'm sure they're going to tell us.
I feel like this is the world building segment of our podcast. We could talk cards all the time, but we need people to mess with us at card shows and say stupid stuff. And this is giving them ammo.
Dude, shout out to the guy who listens to the podcast. This is like full circle now. Who walked up to me when I was mid-bite of my breakfast sandwich at the Philly show, and I had like cheese in my beard, and he popped into one of my live streams. I think it was last night or yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't remember, but he was like, "This is the guy." He referred to me, "Hey, Mr. Cheese Beard," and I was like, "Are you the guy who I met at the Philly show who listens to the podcast?" He's like, "Yep, it is I." I was like, "That's awesome, full circle."
All right, I do have a question for you. Going back to the Philly show, when is the next Philly show?
This weekend.
Are you going to it?
I can't. It's my boy's first birthday this weekend.
Is that your excuse not to go?
Yeah, it sounds like a time to celebrate his first birthday.
Or are you just trying to avoid avoid the card dealer that you had a little issue with last time?
Yeah.
No, I will tell you though, a lot of people came up to me this weekend at the card show and thought that there was nothing, I didn't do anything wrong. And I've kind of been telling people how, like, if I were to go back, I would change my reaction.
So if everyone's new listening, Tim went to a card show, was digging through a dollar box, asked the dealer how much the cards were. He said $1 or $2 most cards. Some cards, what do you say? Some cards might be a little pricey or something like that.
Yeah, but he's like and then he followed that up with most of those cards have already been picked over. This is day 2, like middle of the day, right?
So Tim pulled out a card. It was a Michael Jordan Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
Dual card, upper deck, and he told him he needed to look it up, and then he said that he saw cards listed
after he looked up 2 $1 cards and said, "This one's $1, this one's $2." I'm like, "What are we doing?"
And then he saw some price on eBay for people listed, not sold, for like $800 to $1,000. And then I think we ended up doing a little research on the podcast, the previous podcast. I think we saw some sold comps for like $300 or $400, if not mistaken. But make a long story short, he said he wasn't going to sell the card to Tim, and then Tim said, "Well, you just told me, the price of these." So fine, if you want $1,000. And Tim got a little heated, and that's what we're referring to here. So backtrack.
That would have taken your price per card average up astronomically if you picked that up.
Yeah.
I did really good this weekend. I was on an extremely tight budget.
So, Tim, going back to that, though, I was actually surprised that a lot of people were actually on your side with that. I thought you were going to get more. I thought it was going to be like it was more like an 80-20, I think, response in your gym, where 80 in your favor. I thought it was going to be more like a 60-40, where like they're like, "Hey, you overreacted" or something like that. So, yeah, I think
it helped that I mentioned, too, in the video afterwards that, like, looking back on it, I probably should have reacted a little bit different. So I think that kind of helped the reactions too.
So speaking about reactions, though, there's a video going around the internet right now.
Which one?
Well, we're going to talk about the one where a guy walked up to a dealer. What's up?
Am I wearing clothes?
Depends what video. You have so many. I mean, between your appetite for marriage or whatever.
We
don't know. Bro. It's just, we don't know.
Wow, we get it. We get it,
Tim. All right. your new swinger food page. We got it, bro. Right? So, but no, there's where a guy walks up to a dealer and he asks that he wants to see some of his cards, and the dealer blatantly just says right off the bat, "Hey, man, if you're trying to buy these cards below comp, it's not going to happen." And he's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to agree on comps with the cards." And then if you guys, a lot of people have already covered it, but at the end of the day, they end up going back and forth, and then they decided they can't do it. But the dealer tells them, "Hey, trying to buy a Shohei card." He's like, "Hey, this Shohei card." He's like, "Hey, the last comp's $350." He's like, "Well, I paid $425 for the card, so I don't care about your comps." So
you make him sound a little bit aggressive. He didn't sound like he wasn't aggressive. He didn't say he doesn't care about your comps.
Yes, he did say that though.
No, he didn't say I don't care about your comps.
I thought he said I don't care about the comps.
Maybe he said I don't care about the comps.
The comps. Okay, there we go. But
nuance.
The nuance in there. Yes. So he said I don't care about the comps. He goes Shohei, Jordan, Kobe, and Sidney Koufax. Those sell differently at card shows. He's like, the comps don't factor in the price for, tax on eBay, shipping on eBay. They don't factor in, when we look at comps on like Card Ladder or Market Move, stuff like that, they don't factor in like dealer show pricing. So I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. Me and Tim had a little debate going, should dealers tell their customers what they pay for a card? Do you think
it's irrelevant? It's irrelevant information to the buyer. Now, it isn't irrelevant information to the seller, I guess. But, if you overpay, if you buy something for overcomp because you think it's a great deal or you think it's worth more, then you can't expect not to get pushback. You know what I mean? You're going to get pushback because everybody, that's why I like to play, in the bargain boxes. People aren't sitting there for the most part.
Yeah.
Worrying, that still happens. But for the most part, they're not stressing about every comp of every card. It's, they're just realizing they want to move this or they're not going to go through that hassle. And that's where you can find deals. So, I mean, I'm tired of, dealers saying what they paid because it's completely irrelevant to me. You should know what you pay. Totally keep track of what you're paying. Know what kind of deal or not deal you can give me. But it shouldn't. It doesn't involve whether your card is worth something or not. It has no bearing in that.
This is where I disagree with you extremely, both of you guys on this one, because if you're building rapport with the dealer, if the dealer feels comfortable telling you about that, that's part of the story and part of the overall conversation.
That's nuanced. If you have a relationship with the dealer and they want to give you full disclosure, that's a little different. I agree.
But that's part of negotiation is knowing other information, having a conversation with people, because if people are here's a rule of thumb is you never buy anything for something you don't like, right? So but if you can start a general conversation with someone and then you guys are kind of going back and forth providing information, there's a lot of times where I've gone to a card show and I have tried to say, hey, do you have any wiggle room with this? He's like, I'm in for too much. I don't have this, but I have some wiggle room on those other cards you're looking at. So that gives me context to work with or work off of. So I think that it is important if a dealer was going to tell me, hey, I'm in for too much. That might be something where he bought it at the top of the market, thought the market was going to keep going up.
But here's the thing, Rod. If they bought it at the top of the market and the market is going down, then they either need to put it away, right? Because they don't want to sell it right now, or realize that it's a sunk cost and they're going to sell it for what they can sell it for.
Exactly.
Right? Because it's irrelevant if you bought, let's talk about somebody who's massively fallen off and probably won't recover. Jaden Daniels, right?
Come on,
dude! You're right. He's not gonna.
He's not coming back. I would imagine they're gonna get Sam Howell back and probably take over for the job, so somebody can get something done there.
I heard Anthony Richardson probably gonna be available. So
I'm just messing with Tim.
Well, Anthony Richardson's stuff is making a comeback. By the way,
it is. But my point is, let's go like Kellen Mond or like somebody. There's people who overpaid for people like that 2-3 years ago.
Zion or Ja Morant.
Ben DiNucci. There's some people holding some 101 Ben DiNucci's out there that are not going to see any money out of that unless they're willing to sell it for $20, whatever, right? So it don't matter what you paid.
This everything that Cary said is true. Because this is the problem.
Put it on a shirt. Put it on a shirt.
And this is the problem I think that people make with prospecting too. I saw this guy on Twitter. He bought a Christian Hernandez card 5 years ago, right? And because the people don't understand with international prospects, these guys are 17, 18, 19 years old when their first cards come out. They're not going to play in the major league.
Yeah, they're a project.
You know what I'm saying? So this guy bought a Christian Hernandez card for $1,000 or $1,050, I think he said it was. And then he sold it just the other day for $50, and he's like, "This is how you don't. This is like prospecting for dummies, or don't prospect like this, something like that." And so he's like, net profit was minus $1,000, and I'm like, "Why? You've held that card for this long. Why would you sell it right now?" The kid is 22 years old. He's a top 30 prospect for the Miami Marlins. He was originally a Cubs prospect. Why but it's a prime example of what Cary's saying. Like, that person elected to just cut his cost, right? And just, sell it at this point for $50 and move on. Ideally, what I would have done is I would have just held it. Like, the kid's 22. He hasn't even had a chance to make the major leagues yet. He's still in the, working his way up the farm system. I would have just held it, right? First of all, I would have never paid $1,000 for a card, but that's me. But it's a prime example of what
you had an opportunity recently and you passed.
Yeah. Did I? Oh yeah. Griffey Jr. and Michael Jordan.
You could have paid full. You could have paid full asking, not a sold comp.
But
full asking of somebody.
For me, that's the thing is if a guy is gonna, you should never mention that to somebody who you do not know, you've never made a deal with before. You should never mention that. Those are words that should never come out of a dealer's mouth, because automatically you're probably gonna lose 90% of your customers by saying that. Because I understand you disagree. I'm going to explain why. Because if you tell that to me or Cary, what do you think me and Cary are going to do?
But you're also buying cards.
I'm just saying, listen, what do you think?
I'm not going to buy that card.
We're probably going to walk away from the table, because we already know that guy is set in their ways. There's no logic behind selling a card based upon what you paid for it.
It's a business practice. It's like an unbusiness-like business practice, unless you have a relationship and you're giving when you have a relationship with a dealer, yeah, I totally get what you're saying, Rob. When you have a relationship and you're saying, I got to be a little, I don't have any room on this, but this one that makes sense. But if it's a new person, I don't know how else to say it. Like, bad buy is none of our business. If you have a bad buy, which we all do, trust us. Yeah. We all have bad buys. You have two options. You can hold the Christian Hernandez till he's 26, 27, see if he makes it right. You could. He's 22, so there really is some chance for him to still have a shot in the MLB. Or you can do what he did, sell for $50, take your loss, move on. It's a sunk cost at this point, especially 5 years later. And that's just part of business. We don't need to know it might be a fun story to tell somebody, but it shouldn't affect the price, rather.
But we're not talking about prospecting. We're talking about Shohei. We're talking about Jordan. We're talking about Kobe.
This is the thing, though. We don't know what the card was.
It was a Shohei card.
Because he mentioned the guy. First of all, the guy. We should have just played the video. The guy. the guy.
I like that we just describe it.
The guy wants to buy a bunch of cards, so he's like pointing to all the cards. Right. This is the beginning of the video, and the guy says to the dealer says to the guy, he's like, I don't want to pull out $4,000 worth of cards out of my showcase and put them on my table. Right there, that's your first red flag.
Hold on, but I would say that we only saw clips of that video. To be full disclosure,
I saw the full video.
Oh, you saw the full video?
Yeah,
start to finish.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
What are you there for if you're not willing to take your cards out for people to look at?
But I mean, like, we don't know what happened before or after either. Like, did someone come up to him before? Like, I mean, we've all been to card shows where we see the t-shirt bros. I have t-shirt bros, but the guys come up and they're like, hey man, like. They say, hey, I'm going to pull this out and this. Okay, I'll give you 60%. The dealer's like, no. You know what I mean? Like, we've been around so that. So,
I understand all of that.
Yeah.
And so, like, for me, this is the thing is that, like, I understand there are aspects of what the dealer was saying that I understand.
Yeah, 100%.
I understand the Shohei, Judge, Jordan, Kobe sort of situation, because that's where a lot of these people, especially content creators, make their money, because if there's those cards aren't as abundant to a certain degree, right? So if somebody decides that they put their card on sale or they're strapped for cash, that comp is going to be like a weird comp for, that entire sort of negotiation, right? And so, like, I also understand that, like, with Kobe's and Jordan's and Shohei's, like, those cards are so liquid that there's no point in kind of like somebody will buy that card at full asking price,
100%.
right?
I agree with that.
But buying that card at full asking price because that's your price is fine, right? But selling that card at that price because you bought it for X amount is not fine. Just don't say that. Or don't sell the card. Like, don't bring the card with you to the card show, right? If the comps right now are at this point in time are $100 less than what you're selling the card for, then don't put the card in the showcase.
So what about if that dealer was using it as an attention grabber? Because
he grabbed some attention, all right.
Well, but what I'm saying is that, like, but I mean, I know dealers firsthand that will put certain cards in their price where they don't want to sell. They have, like, everyone has that card within their collection. Like, hey, this is my card that I have I want X amount of dollars for this card. I don't plan on selling it, but if someone maybe offer me that, maybe I'll entertain it. That
I don't have one of those.
Okay, well, but a lot of dealers will put certain cards in their case, like Jordan rookies, or other stuff where they're attention grabbers. People stop and they look at that, and then they look at the other cards around there, because you have to do something different. Because if you're at a card show at the national, hell, there's 1,000 dealers here or 2,000 dealers here. Like,
did you see
something different sometimes?
Did you see the picture? It was on Instagram yesterday or Facebook, one of the two. And it was, if you want to take a picture and holding my card, it's $2. And it was like all grails, like really, really expensive, like $10,000 probably plus cards. And it said $2 to hold and take a picture. I would have just been sitting over that thing taking pictures without touching the card, just to mess with them.
That's funny.
It's not a bad idea. I kind of understand, but, like, I don't know who would do it. But
let's go past. We're past that now. What about what the dealer said, that people don't factor in that the taxes, the shipping you got to pay, or comps don't also factor in the card show prices and stuff like that? Because I mean personally, I've sold cards on this week on Poshmark and Cary. And those aren't factored into, like,
Poshmark.
Yeah, dude, I've been selling a bunch of cards on Poshmark. Believe it or not.
Okay, I'm gonna start putting cards on Poshmark then. Apparently,
How about Dibdit Cards.com?
but I cross list it. That's why, because I would click one button, it automatically does it for me. But Poshmark also takes 20%, in fees, which is extremely high. So, but that's just because I have all my other reselling business. But anyway, so what do you think about the factor about selling cards in person? So the comps don't matter. What are your thoughts on that? Because I mean,
this is all like weird because listen, 99% of the cards I buy, I don't comp because I don't need to, because I know what cards are worth, right? And I know what I could sell them for. So I don't care. I really don't care what the comps are. Like I was telling Rob before we started the show, like I have a card that I got this weekend at the card show, Christian Campbell Image Variation Mojo rookie card. I put it up on Twitter on my little my post I put up on the weekends about my card show finds. And somebody said, "Why don't you just sell me that Christian Campbell?" And I was like, "Okay, $25 plus shipping." The guy came back to me and was like, "I think I'm gonna have to pass at that. The last 3 comps average out at $14." And I'm less like, I basically like I know the guy via Twitter, right? So like I wasn't like, it doesn't bother me, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm not gonna sell that card for $14. I don't care what the 3 comps average out at, because you cannot buy that card anywhere else cheaper than $25 right now.
Hold on, you just said previous conversation. If the comp is at $350 to the other card, then you should either take a loss or because that's what the comps are going for. Now you're saying on the reverse side of things,
we're saying that you shouldn't be telling us that. You could try to sell your card for whatever you want.
Yeah, like tell me that you value it at that much money. Like okay, I understand that.
But that isn't it the same thing that guy just did?
No.
Because he didn't say there's 7 available on eBay right now for this higher price. Did he say that? That'd be a little different.
I mean, he pretty much said he valued the card higher because he paid $425 for the card.
Exactly.
And then
this is a great point that Tim's making too, that I know we've talked about in the past. But if there's 3 sold comps at $15, right?
Yeah.
And then there's 4 on eBay and they're 50, 40, 35, and 25, then you should price your card at, if you want to sell it $24.99, right? You should maybe be the lowest comp or whatever.
I agree with you on that.
Lowest available. Go buy a different copy cheaper than what I'm selling it for.
Look at Connor Griffin right now. You can't take Connor Griffin's comps from 4 months ago and factor them into the price of a card right now.
People at tables will probably try. They'll be like, look at this Connor.
Try. That's what I'm saying, is that like there's so many variables that go into comps. Like the guy said, like we don't know what cards sell for at card shows and stuff like that. I
think the best thing a flipper can do is learn how to buy cards without comps.
1,000%.
Comps are a tool, and you should use them. But you got to be proficient at buying cards without your 130 point, without your market movers, without your, what's the one I'm using? Card ladder sometimes.
Full disclosure on that too, guys. If you guys use any of those things, they're probably 70% accurate. You know what I mean? But it's a good guideline. But you don't use. There's so many things that I pull up that aren't on card ladder, that aren't on 130 point. Like I use multiple things sometimes when I deal with higher end cards.
It's like if you're going to another country and you're trying to practice the language, right? Like I lived in Mexico for a few years. There's a big difference with like going in there and being proficient in your mind and being able to speak. And there's another thing to rely on something that could be unreliable, that could not work at one moment. Like imagine the times at Dallas or the National when the internet was bad, right? And then you're screwed, right? You got to be able to at least have a general ballpark idea. And it definitely is easier with low end because there's less risk with it in general. You're not dealing with high end stuff. If a dealer is looking up
cards, I don't want to do anything to do with it.
Well, I think the deal. Well, first off, I agree with you to a point. I think the dealer should be prepared before the show, and if he has some cards that are higher, should already be priced first and foremost.
Let's shout out the fact that so many dealers do that. Yes. Like I can't tell you how many dealers, even when they don't have stuff priced, like you ask them and they know the glass comp is this, or like, and I'll do this. And for a lot of them are on top of it.
For the dealers out there, put the price on the front of the card. Don't put it on the back of the card. Nothing annoys me more than you have your cards all priced and have to ask the dealer to take the card out to look at, to flip it over.
If you have cards in a case, put the price on the front so we know what the heck's going on. There's nothing worse than trying to guess what people are going to ask, and it prevents a lot of people from even bothering, honestly.
Now, I agree with both you guys. You guys should be able to buy cards without comping, but I think there's there's a threshold. Like, what is your guys' threshold that you guys have? If a card, say if a card's 20, 30, $50, like what is your threshold where you have to look it up? Because for me, anything like $20 and under, I'm going to.
Dude, I'll look up 10-cent cards if I'm curious on what it's worth. I have no problem with that, but there's no threshold. I mean, if you found a Connor Griffin Bowman first autograph right now, and for some reason it was like $50, I don't think you really have to look it up.
Yeah, that's no brainer.
I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Connor Griffins on Saturday, and I have one left.
Nice. You guys don't know, he hit 2 home runs out of the park last week?
He just hit another home run yesterday too.
Yeah,
he did what we called he did a Timmy tap. Like he just hit it out the building. That's what those trophies are for in the back. Home run derbies.
Yeah, that's all Tim's participation trophies because he didn't hit enough home runs, so he didn't hit enough to win that one there. But
I still have my first home run ball here somewhere.
Oh yeah,
over a fence. Like
I never hit a home run, man. I never hit a home run ever, but I was really good at the drag bunt.
All right, Tim.
I really wasn't. Made that up.
Simpson, you just watch him do a bunt, and he's in first base.
One of my greatest moments, Tim, is when I was like 28 and I stole a base in softball and I slid in. You know that feeling when you have a perfect slide and I made it? I'm like, you guys are suckers and everything. And everybody looked at me like, you can't steal in softball. That's illegal. And I had to do the walk of shame back to first base.
I have the second picture too, but you want to set this one up and talk about this one here because you sent this one over to me. So.
Oh yeah, so this was pretty fascinating. Leighton Sports Cards was doing a Topps Finest break, and the guy starts to open up the pack. When he opens the pack, he realizes there's something funny in the pack, so he kind of goes to it and he realizes it's a superfractor, and then he pulls it out and the card is missing from the superfractor.
Look, there it is. Look at that.
And it's not just any superfractor; it's a Cooper flag.
101.
Superfractor.
Yeah, dude. It's the foil, the front part of the card.
Wow.
And it was supposed to stick between on the piece of cardboard, and it never did. That's what it came like.
It looks like one of those Leaf pre-production proof cards.
Yeah,
it's crazy. That's what. Yeah,
that's a true 101. That's a 101 a 101. Yeah,
absolutely insane. Yeah. Let me add that one back up here again.
What happens in that situation?
So I think they would just contact Topps. I mean, first off, this video is gonna go viral first and foremost. But I think Topps is gonna see it, probably reach out to Leighton, or they're gonna reach out to Topps directly. And I think what they do is they're gonna replace it or reprint the card for the people. So
what if it was like a mistake though, and that 101 is already in production, already exists?
So if situations like that, I think Topps would make it right and provide something that equal value or something like that. So I mean, that's a 5-figure card.
They don't get no more equaler than that. I need a 101 Cooper flag.
Yeah, that's not it. Yeah. Better not be getting a Bub Carrington 101 second year.
Go ahead. No Washington Wizards slander.
Bub's good. I'm just saying he's not Cooper.
I mean, look at that thing. Just imagine having that, and then you're all pumped up, and then boom, and then you flip it over. That's
how many 1-of-1s are in of Cooper flag are in Topps Finest. By the end of the year, are we going to have 7,000 1-of-1 Cooper flags? There's just going to be every single thing.
There's probably only
too
5.
Much.
There's probably only 5.
No, there's probably more than that to be.
Oh, there's more than 5, bro.
I mean, they had
every insert set's going to have a 1-of-1, but not just the superfractor. They're going to have.
Well, that's what
they're like a Pandora, not a Pandora, but there's going to be other variations of a 1-of-1 too.
I don't think Topps does that. They just do superfractors. Panini's the one that does the multiple 1-of-1s.
I'm just saying, 1-of-1s are every day you're seeing because they have all this product and all these different inserts. It's just so much.
I keep looking at that, man. I just can't.
That's listen, if you were to define my life by a card, this would be it.
No, defining your life by the cards when you pulled the G League Superfractor. That was your life, my friend. I wish I
could get a 1-of-1 finally in a pull and then realizing it's not worth much of anything. It's got to be the worst.
$60.
That's what I'm saying. For a superfractor, that's about as low as they get.
This is Rod's first time on the job, ladies and gentlemen.
Apparently, I hit the wrong button. I kept hitting it. So, what would you do? If that happened to you, I would be so happy. Then, I don't know. I'd probably start crying.
I think it was a serial number break too. I don't think it was a team break.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
How's the serial number break work then? For like a 1-on-1, you just get
you pay a lot of money for that spot, right?
Yeah.
I've never been in one of those before. That's crazy. Interesting. Well, speaking about interesting.
Oh, well,
go ahead.
No, what's interesting? Just tell me what's interesting first, and I'll let you know if we're going to talk about it first or not.
We're going to talk about Teapot's video from Market Movers.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're going to skip it. Oh,
yeah, okay, we're going to talk about it. So, for those who don't know, because
it just goes to show you how this is why I still have a 2-row box going to grading, and I haven't sent it yet.
So he did he did this over the last 6 months or something like that, where he took a Ken Griffey Jr. card and then
I don't know how he did it over 6 months though. Did he pay express for all of
He
those?
did pay express for a couple of them. I watched the whole video. Yeah, he said that.
I didn't watch the video.
Yeah,
but
I just really like. I saw a video of Jeff, and he had the glasses, the safety glasses on, so he opened up the slabs safely, which I appreciated.
So
we're going to talk about some slab cracking here in a second.
So he we're talking in a second here. So he actually sent the Ken Griffey Jr. off to first started at Beckett at 9.5. He sent it to SGC, which I think they said it was trimmed. Then he sent to PSA and it came back at 6. And then he sent it back to Beckett again. And it came back.
He sent it to Tag and they said it was over.
This is the first time. This is like 8. Then he sent back to Beckett the first time. He did a second video where that's where he sent it back out to all the different grading companies. He sent the Tag.
And it came back oversized.
Yeah, oversized. He sent it to.
It's trimmed and oversized.
Yeah, exactly.
So he sent it to Arena Club, but he said he wasn't sure.
I didn't even know Arena Club grades.
Yeah, they grade. Yeah. Yep. So the interesting thing about Arena Club, which I found fascinating, is when he graded the card, they use AI to grade. So does Tag use AI. So we'll talk about it here in a second too. But the interesting thing
broken.
Did they send it to Star Stock to see if it got an A or a B or whatever?
No. But the interesting thing about that is if you send a card to Arena Club to grade, it can only be a 0.5 higher than the lowest grade. So if you have say your corners got a 10, the surface level got a 10, the edges got a 10, and then the centering got an 8, they were graded at 8.5. So they don't take the average of the 4. Yeah, it's kind of weird. And then, but he also did make a long story short, he did that. He sent off to 9 different grading companies, and it came back 9 different grades, where being too big, being trimmed, being a 6, all the way up to 9.5. And I think at the final stage came back as trimmed or something like that. Where
he got authentic. Sent back by Beckett as not good.
Unfortunately, he started out at 9.5. So he lost a ton of money in that card. And then he also did it with a PSA card, not PSA. He did it with a Pokemon
sure
card.
Jeff paid for all of it.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the thing I found, because I debated for the longest time with people is why don't we use AI to grade? And the interesting thing is with he sent a hollow Pokemon card and it was picking up, do you know, the cracked ice cards, they had the little lines and going through and stuff like that, but it was picking up stuff in there that's saying that there was flaws on the surface level. But he's no, that's just the design of how the hollow is. So now I understand why maybe they don't use the AI. It's not as good as we think it would be to grade cards, but
that's not what have a grading. We should have you know how the Olympics have an Olympic board of trustees. Just have a grading board of trustees, and we should all have seats on.
And everybody needs to get a certificate to be a grader from them.
Yeah.
So
they have to go to grading school, kind of like an auctioneer school.
1,000% got to go to grading school.
Yeah, just like auctioneer school. Cary, do you went to auctioneer school?
No, I didn't.
You didn't get licensed in Utah?
Utah, you don't have to. No,
you have to have at least 40,000 hours logged of grading before you can grade something.
So, no, but that's honestly the truth. If you want it to be more standardized, you need some sort of governing body to make sure that there's certain things.
Grading is a complete joke, and that's just an example.
It's so. I know they have things they're taught, but it feels very subjective based on the grader.
Yeah, 100%. And
what they care about more or whatever. It's not supposed to be, but I think
imagine if I had to sit down and grade cowboy cards all day. 6, 7, 6. Jaden Daniels 10.
So the point I want to bring up with this is it's not so much that, because we all know grading is subjective. We talked about this many times on here, and I'm sure people are oh, they're talking about grading again on here. Yeah. But that's not the whole reason.
Dude, never grade cards.
I can guarantee this. I do not care about this discussion much.
No, that's you will care what I'm about to talk about. So the reason why I brought this up is at the very end of the video, he says that we put so much emphasis on grading. And, a lot of people grade because the reason why people grade is because it adds extra value to your card. And he said that it makes sense when we're dealing with vintage cards before 1980 because there's only one card out there, right? Maybe a lot of players Topps only had one card. There wasn't all these other companies coming out there. So the condition of the card would really matter to determine what the value of the card is. But when we're dealing with modern cards, does condition really matter as much? Because we have parallels, we have inserts. There's multiple rookie cards for these players now. So what should actually, I want to talk to you guys and debate this. What should actually dictate the price of a card going forward now? I mean,
in my opinion, there is, I think, four things. This is the rule of 4. Tim's rule of 4 when it comes to value of a card. Okay. Let me make sure this is 4. Okay. Number 1.
You need to use your toes too. There.
Number 1. How good is the player? That's the most important part when it comes to the value of a card. Number 2 is rarity of the card. So the print run or if it's numbered. Okay. A numbered card should always be more valuable than a non-numbered card. Okay. So you have how good a player is, the rarity of a card, how the card looks, and the availability of a card. So those are the 4 things.
I would add a fifth. How much I paid for the card.
So wait, Tim, you don't consider condition of the card?
Okay, well then, yeah, that should be factored in.
I was like, that's the whole point of it.
I thought that. So this is a 5. Those are the 5.
Wasn't there like a lot of common sense in how we kind of looked at cards as kids, though? Like if it had soft corners, dinged corners, I mean, it didn't necessarily make a card undesirable.
Correct, I agree.
But it was a negative as compared to a mint copy. But now it's so detailed to if there's some minor scratches or something. I think a lot of that only matters to people because they want to go send it into grading, obviously, so they can up the value. But beyond that, I don't think it matters much at all to the actual aesthetic of a card.
So then,
unless it's really bad.
So then, Cary, I'm asking you that. I mean, how do you value a card? Like what? Not say how do you value a card, but how do you think a card should actually have a price or a value to that card? Because I
don't feel like condition devalues a card unless it's a major flaw. Like I'll price my stuff near mint or excellent if there's maybe some minor scratches, and I'll pretty much price it the same as a raw card because I'm not necessarily thinking or caring if people decide they want to grade or not. That's their business if they're going to do that on the next step. And I'm sure there's people, and I've heard this, there's people that buy from me and grade because I don't really grade. So I'm that one of those people they could theoretically buy from occasionally. You've done it, right?
You're LeBron James. I bought from you on Whatnot, the most expensive poop in my life. His
poop
is yes. I bought it when I was
he was pooping. Which is it's funny. Like if you call Rod Rams a day, typically he's pooping.
No.
I saw I passed on a card at the card show this weekend, and you'll probably be mad at me for passing on it. It was LeBron James Sports Illustrated card, but it was $10.
Which the original one?
I don't know.
Is he in his high school?
Yeah, he's in his high school uniform.
Yeah, St. Vincent or whatever it is.
But they were only selling raw for like $12.
I mean, that's when you go in and offer him $8, and then you make that juicy $2
I would have bought
profit
it for $1, maybe $2
after fees.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm not going to buy
Offer it, see what he does. That's a good video. Put your meta glasses on. Offer everybody 90% of comps.
90% off of comps.
Yeah, but not on the stuff that they're going to say no, like downtown. But like stuff that has no value, like a number to 5, like David Wright auto. Stuff that nobody wants. Just offer.
So for those who don't know, Tim actually hit. I was doing a break one night. Tim hit the David Wright out of 5, and then he took. It's a sick card. All-star. He just retired. Like it was the perfect storm, and he took it to national. No one
might as well have been holding a flaming bag of crap when he presented this stuff to these people. They just looked at it. They're like, "What are you doing? Do you not know how cards work, Tim?" Okay. Nobody wants this.
While we're on the topic of shaming people for cards, right? Can we stop shaming people for grading cards? I saw like a influencer on Instagram post a picture of a Tez Johnson Bowman U SGC slab and was like, why did this card get graded? So for me, I think that's kind of messed up.
I agree with you.
Like, who are we to judge what people decide they want to grade?
Dude, one of my best friends.
Like, it's not fun. It's not like, I think they were trying to get like a laugh. Like, people were like, laugh about it. But like, I feel like that's kind of messed up. Like, what if somebody wanted to grade that card? Like, why not grade whatever you want to grade?
That's fine, but I want to go in his back stock and see all of the, Sam Howell graded cards that he has sitting back there that he's waiting for him to come back up. I want to see the Sam Hartmans, the beautiful quarterback who used to be your guy.
Kind of looks like me, right? If I had long hair.
Yeah, pretty much, like spot on. Like you guys are both on Days of Our Lives. Different roles. Actually, you might be more like CSI. You might be more like the
homeless guy who witnessed the murder.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
This is the longest answer that Cary's ever given on how you value your cards. So finish it.
I think they're important.
Okay, you think they're important?
They all have inherent, and they're all infinitely valuable to whoever.
Seriously, how do you? But I mean, other than like how a card looks, like how do you break down the grade of a card? Not say the grade of a card, the value of a card. Like what should be the most important things for you? Like if you were to,
I think a real big thing, like here. I mean, I showed you guys this yesterday. I found this in the dollar box. This is a platinum. You guys know how hard these were to hit back in the day. Platinum medallion, Frank Rodriguez. So I don't need to. I just know how hard. So rarity is a big part of it. How hard it actually was to get it, and also if it has cachet, because there's different levels. Like if you found a PMG, it's going to be worth more than the platinum medallion or a Skybox Rave, even though they're generally about the same numbering. So that matters. Or like a number to 10,000 Donruss Elite from the 90s might have more value than a other card from a different set, just because it has so the knowledge of the set and how important they are to the history of the hobby matters. Players, obviously, I think players are the number one thing, and that's so obvious, but it's so true. And with bargain boxing, you are constantly having, and that's why if you guys are not following Tim's weekly Friday video where he's talking about, it's probably, I'm not even joking, like maybe my favorite video of the week period for sports cards, because it's like it's so cool too, because it's like such a video you could probably throw out in a week or two, because it's going to change so much. But that's what I love about it. It's like, what can you look for in the bargain box tomorrow? Like what player hit some home runs this week? Because that's what bargain boxing is. Who's hot right now? Connor Griffin. He could have the first week he gets called up and they're going to put him on the team. He's going to go even higher maybe. But then if he struggles his first couple of weeks, it doesn't mean he's a bad player at all. He's 19. The fact that he's in the league is amazing. But if he struggles, it's going to go right back down. And then if he hits a couple more home runs, I mean, that the week to week of it and the player choice is so important. So it's player rarity, pretty much what Tim said. And also for me, who buys from me? You have to sometimes think about who your buyers are. If you do consistent auctions or you have consistent sales on eBay or any platform, you may realize, like I have somebody on Collects who buys a lot of my Dodgers. So I will pick up a lot of, refractor Dodgers, knowing I can get about $2 a piece, $1.50, $2 a piece for them, because I have somebody who buys them.
How important is eye appeal for you? How a card looks?
Well, very important. Not necessarily because of condition. Unless the condition is roach, then you obviously stay away from it. It's just the 90s are perfect for that. Die cut SPX stuff, EX2000 stuff. You could pick up a common base, not a common, but you can pick up a base Gary Payton EX2000 if it's the right price, just because it looks like better than any insert card that they make nowadays. Mm-hmm. Well, and that was the base.
Like going back to when I pulled the Aston Genty 101 Superfractor, when Golden Auction House wanted to get graded and came back at an 8, and me and you and all three of us actually had the debate, like, does it really matter that much because of the scarcity of the card? If a 101 is an 8 or 9 or 10, does it really add that much extra value to it? Granted, I know there's some people that only buy 10s and 10s only, but like when you come down to the scarcity of it,
are weirdos.
But people are very, I guess.
I think the one of one
bougie, stuck up.
Yeah. I'm 100% for grading one of ones. I still have to grade that none, but only because I want to prove that it's authentic. That's the only reason I think it matters. I don't think it matters for the grade. Did you send that
none off?
I've meant to 20 times.
I've offered to send it off for him multiple times, and he's like,
and he's
going to take it to a local shop now, and yeah. So
one of these points, CSI, Cary's got a nun locked up in his basement.
I got my 101 that I got from Big Tom, man. That 101 in the dollar box. That was an insane find. But and I'm positive it's real, but it's a handwritten one. So I'm like, I would rather just have that say authenticated so I don't get people.
So
that don't know.
I killed this weekend in the bargain box.
Cary, what do you plan on doing with that? Would you send it off to auction?
I don't know. I mean, it'd probably go to some place like DC. Probably. I don't think it's golden level worthy.
I don't know if I'd send it to DC. I would definitely not send it to DC.
I don't know.
Why do you think?
Because I think that's too much of that's a niche buy. You're not like the likelihood of it catching fire on DC is not. I will tell you.
I'm not sure. I might just put it high and buy it now for a while.
That's what I would do. I just put it high and buy now and put it on my story and all of my videos and stuff like that. I'd self promote.
Well, the Pope card's a little different. I mean, this is a nun that's not necessarily. I mean, not super famous. It's not like Mother Teresa or something. Like she's known in is
Mother Teresa the most
world,
famous
but
nun?
I would say so.
Yes.
Sinead O'Connor ended up becoming a nun, right? Or was that just in a music video?
Is this real life right now? Is this
might have been. I know what you're
podcast?
talking about. I think she just maybe that was a music video.
That's what I want to see. I want to see Jeff Wilson do the top 5 nuns video.
Yeah,
I'm glad you added video to that because you just paused. Like I want to see Jeff Wilson.
Do you know what's fun?
Nuns. I'm like,
do you know what's fun is like when the top 5 is like hockey players, and then Jeff Wilson just turns into Rod, just like grasping at straws on how to pronounce the names. That's entertainment.
Yeah, man. Yes. All right, well, let's wrap this up. But yeah, I agree with both you guys, man. I think the rarity of the card, the eye appeal, is probably the most important. The condition, because is there really that much of a difference between a 9 and a 10 from eye appeal? No, not at all. To a point. You know what I mean? But like, we have a saying, like in the comic book industry, when I used to grade comics, if you're a collector, you buy the comic book, not the grade. Same thing with sports cards. You know, if you're a collector, you buy the card, not the grade. If you're an investor, then you buy the grade, not the card. So
my one card in my PC that's graded is a 7.
I saw that. You're Michael Jordan and
Little Richard, Spike Lee.
Well, there's people like Mike at KNT that try to do like the rainbow of grades, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Somebody who's doing that with the Griffey.
I love that idea though, because it is really interesting. How hard is it to find a PSA 1 or 2? Maybe a 1 because it's kind of an anomaly, but like a 2 or 3, I imagine, especially on a modern card, would be really tough.
I feel like you could just buy the cards and then
just
gradually degrade them. And
but that's the thing. I feel like to do a true rainbow, you can't manually damage a card. You have to find it in the wild damage. Or it doesn't mean the same.
It's a weird concept, Tim. Because think about let's just say you get the card, right? You damage it, you send it in, comes back a 6. You're like, damn it, I needed a 5. So you do a little bit more, you send it back in. Now it gets a 3. Now you shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's a weird process, and
that's how you can really learn how grading works, though. Like how much damage a card could take.
I bet you a PSA 1 Griffey rookie is more valuable than a PSA 7.
I bet you 100%.
Because we go down to scarcity and rarity. Because how many of those on the population report how many times people send in like, oh, this is definitely a 10 and it comes back a 7 or 8. You know what I mean?
I feel like the PSA 1 Griffey appeals to like the people who like an NFL bust collection appeals to. Like it's like funny. It's almost like a meme. You know, like I just want to own that because it's a talking piece. You know, not because and that makes it valuable to a certain level.
I know in the comic book world, there's there's people that collect like 1s or 0.5s, like, for the comic books. And I think there's someone on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, that collects PSA 1s of cards. That's all they collect, which is an interesting concept. It's the fact that people send in cards to get a PSA 1 is, I can see it with like vintage or something like that. But like when you're doing like modern cards, I find that tricky, or I find it funny actually.
Trying to see, I can't even find a PSA 1. I don't even know.
So,
but that would be cool.
Your local card shop, where is he in his journey on that?
He's still that's a good point. He's still working on finding some of them because he's trying to get the Jose Canseco rookie collection. I think it's like a 1 or 2 or 3. One of those, I think a couple of those are giving him trouble. And a lot of times you are sending them in, but I would imagine for me, like I would
binder of Jose Canseco cards on my shelf, bro. So
yeah,
you a Jose Canseco collector?
My mom had a Jose Canseco. My mom loved Jose Canseco. She had a Jose Canseco collection.
Your mom's a big.
See, I'm the guy who would be an Ozzie Canseco collector.
There's Ozzie Cansecos in there too.
Interesting.
There's a couple of pages on the binder of.
Just Ozzie. Like I'm more of a Craig Griffey than a Ken Griffey Jr. fan.
All right, Tim, you were saying that you crushed at the card show this weekend. Let's hear about your card show experience.
Oh yeah, I I went on another Bowman Pearl refractors. Found 3 first Bowman Pearl refractors.
Can you explain how rare those are? So people that may not know what those are.
They're like one. I don't mean it varies. I think because they don't do pearls anymore. I think they do snack packs instead of pearls. But I think it's like 1 in every 10 cases.
Yeah,
or something
1
like
in 10 cases. There's a pack of 1 in 10 cases. I think I looked it up that day when you showed me those.
Yeah, so there's literally, I'm going through the dollar box in the baseball, and it's not 1, not 2, but 3. So the exact same way that it happened last time for me.
So it was like a whole pack content, basically? The whole contents of a pack?
No, I think you get 5 in a pack.
So you're saying in every 10 cases, there's just like an extra pack on top, like a silver pack?
Yeah, like a pack in those cases, yes.
And now they do it with the snack packs for Bowman. That has the popcorn parallel, the bubblegum parallel, the sunflower seed parallel, and I think there's one more I'm forgetting.
They're in the cases?
What do you mean?
You're saying that those
How often?
Yeah, how often are those?
I'm not sure. They're similar odds, I believe, to the.
Are they in the boxes? Or are they in the?
It's in a pack in a box.
Okay.
Oh, so as soon as you open up the hobby box, you'll see the pack right on the top.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yes, I found 3 of those. 2 of them. One of them is a guy who got released. So this is the first year they did those. He got released by the Cubs, but that card sold actually out of all the 3. That sold first for $15. And then the other one I listed for 15, but the one is the monster one, which is the Jesus Caba, who is now known as Starling Caba. And he is the number 7, just came out today, the AL East and NL East top 30 teams for 2026. So they'll do tomorrow, I think they'll do the Central divisions, and then they'll do the West after that. But he's the number 7 ranked prospect in the Marlins organization, was originally a Philly. So on his first Bowman, he doesn't have any other cards either. So it makes it really interesting. He only has his first Bowman as of now. So he's a Philly, and on that card, his name is Jesus Caba. But I think is now known as Starling Caba. And he might have another card outside of that first. I'm not sure, but not very many.
When did he legally change his name?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But a lot of times it's not necessarily them changing their names. It's just them coming to America. They kind of change their names. I don't know how that works. But like, the spelling is different and stuff like that. So, okay. But yeah, that one I have up listed right now for $225. So 225. We'll see. That's a pretty big banger. And then obviously a couple other, nice ones. I found a Shohei Ohtani refractor from 21, 22 Topps Chrome. It's like a $15 card. Nice. The Christian Campbell image variation rookie card. A bunch of brand new numbered Prism football stuff. Some weird ones too, like Steve Spurrier, Jeff Garcia, some Tim Tebow. Stuff like that out of 2025 Prism, but like some really low numbered stuff. But I did good. I bought like 100. I was on a tight budget. I only spent $119. I think I bought 158 cards.
I put my arm down and I got stuck to a bunch of stickers from the top loaders that I just have sitting here. You guys have that problem?
So that was my card show experience this weekend. It was a small show, but it was packed. And I bought all the Connor Griffins and those things. Onyx Connor Griffin to 99 and like for $2 or something like that. I ended up getting it for 75 cents in Tim math. So that sold for $10 on Collect within 2 hours. I sold the Jersey Kings Orange Ice non-licensed Connor Griffin for $15. Ooh, nice. A couple of Mojos.
I picked up a prismatic Connor, like from unlicensed. I'm picking up at $1 basically any Connor, and then if beyond that, almost anything within reason. So.
Yeah, so it was a good weekend at the card show for me.
Nice. What about you, Cary? How was your card show?
I went to a new one I was telling you about, Rod. Sorry, I went to Lake Mary, which is done like in a small church and everything. It reminds me a lot of Orlando, the Apopka show. Mm-hmm. It was probably one of my favorite card show experiences in a while, just because it was like all my normal vendors plus a few, and it was all pretty much sports cards. There's like one Pokemon dealer. So it was it was just like a fun time. Everybody was in a good mood. There was a lot of bargain boxes to go through. The first guy I'd never bought from, but he was 50 cents a card, and I was picking up, cool, stuff that you don't see every day. Like, I don't know, like this is dope. Like this is a Topps Chrome Ichiro. Is that Ichiro? No, that's Larry Walker. Cloud 9. Sorry, I have bad eyesight. And these were like numbered to 150, just like for 50 cents a piece. I was buying, Josh Beckett golds from back in the day. This is stuff. These, I believe, are Topps Tiffany because of the back, as you guys can tell. Like it's the bright color. It's usually like very matted and like brown. So I believe I picked up a couple Topps Tiffany rookies.
If those are Topps Tiffany, those some good
you can look like this is J Bell. These are both rookies. They're 50 cents a piece. And then like some old cool like refractors you don't see every day of like Bowman. You can't really see the refraction there, but like Carlos Baerga, stuff like that. That for me, it's collects fodder. It's $2 to $6 cards. Maybe some of them are $10 cards on collects. A couple can go through the auction, but. It was that was a fun show. I had a really good time.
I love going to new shows because
I was worried. I'm like, this is not going to be a good week, and it ended up being like a fun one.
Yeah, especially when you go to small shows. I had a little worry going to that one in Ocala, but knowing that there's a couple of dealers that I worked with in the past are going to be there, that kind of helps ease my mind. But I would say I like going to new shows because you get to meet new dealers, new people there, and
I love small shows too, because a lot of times, like with bigger shows, all that means is it's just more Pokemon people. It's all like we got 300 tables, but it's 150 Pokemon people, and some of them are selling 3D printed stuff. It's just like, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like I'm not getting 150 extra baseball card tables or sports card tables, which is what I'm looking for. So sometimes the small shows are just all what you want for the most part. At least I've found. So,
Tim, you were going to talk about the top 30. It's coming out right now.
Yeah, so the AL East and NL East dropped today, which is Monday when we're recording this. So by Wednesday, you should have all the top 30 teams, each major league team's top 30 prospects, the first list of these for the year 2026. So there's some interesting movements on some of these teams. So definitely keep your eye out for that stuff.
Dude, that's one of my favorite things to do is just go through there. Like when you're going to the card show, after you've watched Tim's video, go through the MLB Top 100, go through the teams. Just for me, like that's a lot of times in my video, I don't know why I can remember it. I'll be like, he's the 7th ranked prospect, this and that. If you just look at it before shows, you might not always remember, but you might, like a name might stand out.
I will tell you that
interesting name.
I was really excited reading them today. Because a lot of guys who I've kind of like been buying that weren't necessarily top 30 prospects on their teams last season are now top 30 prospects. And a lot of guys who were like at the bottom of that list are now top 10 guys. And I'm like looking at the list and I'm like, I know I have this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And so like for me, today was a good day as far as those lists coming out and me like reflecting on what I have in inventory right now. I mean, there's some stuff that's going on in baseball right now. The combine, bro. Taylor Green.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna make a short about this, but like, I looked at my phone and I was like, didn't have the combine on, and because I was putting my son to sleep, so we were watching Hawaii 5-0, and I like look at my phone. I'm like, I just got like 4 offers across all different platforms for the Taylor Green auto that I picked up in a dollar box 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, he must have done something crazy at the combine. And then I Google obviously to look at the combine numbers, and he went absolutely ham. It was like a 43 and a half inch vertical, ran a 40-yard dash in like 4.36 at an 11-foot 2-inch broad jump. Smashed all like Anthony Richardson's recent records. It's like the best numbers of a quarterback since 2000.
Here's a deep dive one that I got an offer on Cary, and then of course I clicked accept, and then that person didn't have the payment. That's a Cary thing, which is annoying. But it's a player that I've had for a little bit. I knew he was a baseball prospect, but I think he's leading he has like 8 home runs so far in
Tyler
college.
Black?
No, he's in college, a college baseball player. He plays for, I believe, it's Will Gasparino. I think he plays for Texas or UCLA or something. And it's a Leaf auto because I think that or Onyx maybe, or Onnit are the only places you could find his auto. But I've had really good luck with some of those college guys because the draft's coming up, and if they're playing really well, there's some people like I think that are going a level up from the Bowman prospecting, and then they're looking at like the college guys that are coming into and then you can find those autos.
I was saying right now it's such a huge opportunity for a lot of people, because just like Tim was saying about the baseball prospect list, if you guys don't know, the baseball season starts March 25th. You guys have 3 weeks right now to jump on the hype of spring training and kind of what's going on there to really take advantage of these situations and find these cards in the bargain box. So I would be checking every single day, look at what's kind of going on in Major League Baseball with the spring training and prospects, especially leading up to going to card shows. And the reverse side of things, same thing with football right now. You have the combine right now. People are out there. They're putting out daily content, letting you know who's killing it, who's crushing it right now. And there's plenty of opportunity, especially when you do these card shows, because you got to remember, dealers open up these boxes. They don't have time to go back through. So these cards may have been sitting in their box for the last 2, 3, 4 months.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think, and I don't know if how much it's going to change his draft stock, but now he's a quarterback that everybody's going to be talking about, because he performed at the combine. So, but that just goes to show you and that's going to be the premise of my short, is if you start getting out of nowhere multiple offers on a card.
Yep.
100%
find out what's going on before you do anything else. And I didn't take any of the offers, obviously, because I was like, somebody is going to buy this card outright for $20. And what's hilarious is that's another card that I posted on Twitter on my recap. I started getting notifications on Twitter. Would you take 20 for this card? And I was like, bro, as soon as he finished that 40-yard dash, that card sold for $20.
You know what? You could go a step beyond that, and it would have been justified. There's a good argument
and relisting
it higher. I've done that so many times. Like somebody has a touchdown during the Super Bowl, and you had it, and then everybody's like, "Oh, dude, if you see something like that and you want a card, go buy it. Don't send offers. Go buy it if it's worth it." Because the minute you send offers, it tips off any smart seller, 100%. Because you're not the only one sending offers, especially on something like that. And then, I mean, you probably could have, as long as you were reasonable and didn't put it at like $100, you could have probably got 25 or 30 if you just upped it, and you would have got.
And for those who don't know, his Bowman's autos were in 2024.
He's got a lot of. Phelan's got a lot of autos.
Not first Bowman's, but yeah, he's a lot. I'll put it up here. I got to.
He's got the firsts are great, but he's got stuff in pretty much every set, I think.
I mean, there's tons of stuff. I mean, but look at the prices of some of these. Going 2023, going for $70.
I bet best too.
I bet you if you look 2 weeks ago, you probably could have got these at what 25% or less than the price.
That's the one I sold right there.
Yeah, now $299.
Oh no, mine was not numbered.
Okay, right, not numbered, $30 right now.
Yeah, mine sold for $20.
Yeah, but just goes to show you. But also though too, Tim, you weren't greedy on it. You probably could have got $5 more for it if you really would have held out. But at the same point in time, as you bought it for $1, you flipped it right away. You made a profit. You take that money and reinvest it. But I mean,
and here's another thing, dude. These are going to be in bargain boxes across America. I don't know which one, but I would be very surprised if there weren't dozens of Taylor Green autographs, $5 or below, in boxes. And maybe you only have a couple weeks to strike with the hype. Well, you probably have up until the draft. Yeah. But to get the top $30 is probably.
But see, listen, now his comp is changed now 100%. To kind of bring this whole episode full circle.
Through their boxes again, though they're not digging through their.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, to kind of bring it back full circle, it's that's why sometimes the world of comping is so complicated and stuff like that, right? Because there's so many variables. So you can go and that guy's cards, might have been selling for $10, $15, but now that price is no longer relevant.
Correct.
Right.
I will also say
thing
this.
with the baseball card prices, because
it's
off season is different.
Yeah. I agree.
So it's just,
Yeah, exactly. The prices you were paying in December, if you're going off those comps, at the low, even though the baseball market's gotten bigger and smarter, there are a little more price stability because people are trying to find deals all year round now. Mm-hmm. It's a little different than it was 10 years ago. But here's the thing. I'm not saying it's nobody knows the future value of anything, really. But if you're buying Taylor Green right now, $30 for a Bowman U base, you're at least, and you're trying to flip it, it's risky. Because you're buying it right after something very, very interesting happened. unless you know
find it in the bargain box.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're paying full price to flip it or maybe grade it, by the time it comes back after the draft, unless he gets drafted, I don't know, like has some massive climb, right? And the Cowboys draft him, which is good for the market, probably not good for him. And then then maybe it would go up. But I think it's risky.
Dak Prescott or Jared Goff?
As far as who's better?
Right Jared now, Goff. Going into the 2026
Jared Goff,
season.
I think he's more popular in the hobby and also better.
I would probably have to go Dak Prescott. I even hate saying that though out loud. I hate it.
I've never had. I don't get it. I never hear people talk about Dak really.
Yeah. So Tim, I want to ask you a quick question here. And going back to what we're just talking about the Bowman stuff, this is how important it is to be organized. But how far back do you save your Bowman cards? So like Bowman base. So for like college football, I have saved everything from 2022 to currently now because there's players right now that still have cards in 2022 that had first Bowmans that were still playing in college this year. But when it comes to the pros, how long do you save those cards? Because players can be in the minors for 4 or 5 years.
It depends. I mean, like you're talking about like my first Bowman base stuff.
I'm talking about first Bowmans. Are you saving? Do you still have stuff? You have it organized by year. Just say you have it organized by year or by team or something like that. Like how far back are you? Typically, I know there's going to be little nuances throughout the whole process, but are you saving stuff? Like, do you have stuff right now from 2020 before 2020 in your that you've saved? Or
not really. 2020, like 2019 guys have pretty much
moved on,
peaked, right?
Okay.
So like you have like Gunnar Henderson and Adley, Riley Green, Corbin Carroll. Those are all like 2019 guys.
Okay.
So 2020, like 2021, you're even rolling the dice a little bit. I'd say 2022 is probably the cutoff. Like by now at this point at 2022 product, a guy is either been released, is making progression up the farm systems, or is a major league player. I think so. Like the ones that are kind of like still like up in the air are like Christian Hernandez is 2021, right? But he's 22 years old and he's, still in the minor leagues and a top 30 prospect for his team. So like there's outliers obviously, but I mean like 2023, I will tell you this though, teams are starting to release players a lot earlier now. They are not wasted. It's like that in every sport. Like the Vikings are talking about moving on from JJ McCarthy.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to how early a lot of these baseball players are getting drafted straight out of high school. So they're already invested. They're, by 4 or 5 years into the minor leagues. I mean, they're 22 years old at that point in time. They're playing.
But you got to think about it like this. Like now it's different. Like Jackson Holiday was drafted out of high school. Yeah. He's in the major leagues right now.
Yeah.
His brother, Ethan Holiday, is drafted out of high school. Connor Griffin's 19 years old. So there is a bit of a difference. But yes, you have to know. That's why baseball is like, it's so many people get killed on hype because they don't understand how it works. They only know what people are telling them hype wise, right?
Yeah.
So like there's so many things that you need to look at before you just start buying Christian Vaqueros for $4,000, like, like dude's never even stepped foot in America yet. Like, what are we doing? And shout out to him because he had a little bit of a comeback. But then you have guys like Drew Jones, who was super hyped up, and a lot of people gave up on him. He looks good in spring training right now. Zach Veen. Zach Veen put on 40 pounds of muscle.
Port Orange. I just found out he's from Port Orange, which is right down the road for me. Zach Veen. He's buff now.
Yeah.
Here's a guy that, like, I remember when he came out thinking the same thing. Like, there was so much hype for Dominguez when he came out, right? Jason Dominguez. Yep. He was 17 when this came out.
Also Yankee hype though too. So.
Yeah, no, of course, but he's 23 now. He's played a couple years and he's been up and down, I think. But still, he's only 23.
Yeah.
Just because he's been in the ether, like as far as the hobby for 6 years now, almost. He's only 23 years old. Yeah. So these guys, even when they're coming into the league and they don't perform immediately,
so
they're turning into great or solid players.
In layman's terms, because we have a lot of newbies that want to get into prospect, we have a lot of questions about that. For college football stuff, I keep my stuff 4 or 5 years back, just for the fact that But for baseball, what would you recommend? Probably 3-4 years going back before they can start moving on.
It depends on the product. So Bowman Chrome, those guys are the international guys. You'll hold on to those a little bit longer. Draft guys, it depends. Like if it's a high school draftee, then you can hold it a little bit longer. But like some of those guys who are like 22 who get drafted, like if they're like 23, 24 and they're like hitting like $190 at like single A, like.
Well, your guy, like, let's talk Wax, right? He does like a lot of in season and out of season talk about card values for prospecting. Doesn't he usually cut off people like around 24 as far as like when he'll put them on the list? Not saying they won't make something of themselves.
And one of the things you look at is age appropriate for the level that they're at. So like a guy like Connor Griffin and Jesus Made, who are like 19 years old playing at AAA, that doesn't happen very often. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a guy like, Ethan Salas, who burst onto the scene, right? His stuff is super down right now. The dude was 16 years old playing in Major League Spring Training last season. So like people don't really they look at the score box and they're like, oh, he's batting 190. The dude's can't even buy cigarettes, and he's playing catcher with guys who are like 24 years old. Like, what are we doing?
I hope he's not smoking cigarettes and trying to make the team here. You know what I mean? Like,
I played with a guy on my football team, and he used to have a pack of Newports in his waistline after football practice, walking back to the locker room.
Dude, when I played, when I was at football, yes, yeah, I knew. Before I even made the statement, I knew that was going to come out from you.
I was just wanting people that's college for.
Yeah, but people go in the locker room, they would pull out their dip cans and just in between.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Dip. They would literally dip.
Oh, dip cans. Okay, yeah. I heard something completely different. I heard something completely.
Wishful thinking on your part, but no,
I heard that they were going to pull out their Richards out of their pants.
No, dip cans.
You said dip cans.
Yeah, they pull out the dip cans and would just do in between at halftime, man. They would do that and then go back out and play. So nothing like playing with that buzz, I guess, on the field, right?
Well, I mean, look at Lord Taylor.
You guys both sound like you played in the 1960s, like people smoking, like Lynn Dawson on the sideline.
Bro, you don't know how it is up in the Northeast, all right, man?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was in Utah. It's different. If you're drinking caffeine, you were a wild man in Utah.
One of my best games. I'll tell you a quick little story before we end this episode. So baseball was probably my best sport. I was the most advanced in. So I was playing varsity as like a freshman and a sophomore, and they one day decided to bump me down from varsity for a game, and I was kind of upset about it. I was a bit of a hothead when I was younger.
No, you don't say.
Yeah, and then it just so happened to be my boy's birthday, and so we left school after like second period, and we went to his apartment, and we drank like a half gallon of Bacardi Limon, and probably smoked like, I don't know, 6 or 7 blunts, and I was hammered, dude. And
classic Kim story right here.
I was like, I gotta go. And this, when I say blunts, I mean literal Philly blunts filled with, with the green
Tim
stuff.
Can't figure out why he got bumped down to JV. He can't figure it out. Can he?
I had to go back for a game. The game was that afternoon, so I was like, I need to ride back to the school. So I get back to school and I go, locker room change, and they're like, The security guards are like, you smell like alcohol. And I was like, I got to go to the game. So I go to the game, and I go 2 for 3 with 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, and make a diving catch in center field. And after the game, they try to apprehend me, right? And my boy's older brother pulls up in the minivan at the front of the school, and like they slide the door open, and I just dive into the minivan, and they just peel out, right? So then the next day, coach calls me into the office. And he's like, hey, I got to talk. And I'm like, what's going on, coach? And he's like, there's some speculation, some rumors going around from authorities that you were drunk at yesterday's game. And I was like, drunk? Look at the score sheet. I went 2 for 3 with 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. Did you see that catch I made in center field? He's like, all right, don't drink and play in the games anymore. And I'm like, okay, you got it, coach. Shout out to Coach Wyatt, who's actually a card dealer. at the card shows. I see him every once in a while, and he played linebacker for the New York Giants. He's in Tecmo Super Bowl, so that's story time for with Tim.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Story, man. Like, listen to Tim spin a yarn forever.
Tim's using PEDs to enhance his performance. They sounded like me at beer pong. Like there's like a certain level, like you drink and you start getting a little tipsy and you start playing better, and then you hit that like there's a certain level you hit and it's all downhill. So you're on the up and up, getting more relaxed, more. That's probably why you hit better. Then
I used to have it as I got older and I gave up drinking and stuff. Obviously, I still went to parties at a certain point, so I would have to have a designated drinker for when I played beer pong. Because like I love competing, obviously.
Yeah. Or else you get those participation trophies.
Yeah, so I would play, but I just didn't drink. Somebody else would have to drink.
I love that was basically just a story, so he could tell us he was really good at hitting and catching. You know, like it's basically just to show off his Al Bundy stats from
athletic ability.
2001.
I'm sure he's gonna be posting on his marriage with food about all his like.
I know, dude. We're gonna get his Albert Einstein high school stat line from 2000.
And this is the hot dog I ate during that game after I crushed it. Where are my medals? I got ketchup all over them.
I will tell you one time. So this is basketball season.
Oh, here we go.
I left to go party in the middle of the day at school. And I accidentally drank some bong water. Like it was just the bong was filled with too much water, and I drank some bong water when I took a rip. And I had to go back to school for basketball practice, and we were running suicides. And I was not prepared for it. And I literally ran to suicide and just ran right out the gym doors to the trash can and hurled my brains out.
We had different lives, Tim. One time in my life, I imbibed upon the sacred herb. I went home I've told you guys this story. I went home the next morning because I was at my buddy's house, freaking out. Went home, told my mother. And I asked her to take me to the hospital. And then I went to the hospital. I thought I was never going to leave whatever area of my head I was in. And I eventually did leave and I was back. So that was my one experience. I didn't play baseball after. I was a theater kid. They wouldn't let me on the team. They wouldn't let me on the team, man.
I just want everyone to know Tim's been completely sober now for 14 years.
Yeah, Bill, in May 22nd will be 15 years.
15 years. So even though he tells these stories, that's Tim's second life.
That was Tim back in the day.
He's a new and approved man, so I don't want you guys to think that,
And my one time I was 17. That was 25 years ago. I'm a changed man now.
And I just want people to realize this is how Tim is now. Could you imagine when he was probably a freaking human wrecking ball?
It would have been so much fun to hang out with.
Oh, no, absolutely not. He was probably just a fireball of piss and anger, and vinegar and. All right, so before we end this podcast, we do have a comment from one of the Spotifyers here.
Shout out Spotify.
First time listener to you guys. You guys were funny throughout, and I would chuckle here and there. But when I heard, I believe Barry Bonds didn't take steroids, I lost it. Followed. So shout out Alex, first time listener. We appreciate you.
Guys, his head just naturally got bigger, just from age.
Yeah. What happened?
I mean, my stomach gets bigger the older I get.
It's probably because you're married with an appetite.
Yeah, married with an appetite, so that's probably why.
You better get some Facebook subs.
Guys, members, if you guys want to support the podcast, we do have some members. You can join and help support us. If not, no big deal. Just subscribe. But for $1.99, you can be part of the Bargain Box crew. You got a cool little icon next to your name. You help support us in Tim's food habits. At $4.99, you can be a part of the value box. You get the podcast a day early. You get a little icon next to your name. And for $9.99, you want to buy a case and be this guy right here. That's for the top of the line supporters of us. We also do get the podcast a day early, all the other benefits. But we will be dropping a new video. We are just waiting we do secret videos on the channel here. And we are waiting for the top 30 list to be fully complete. And Tim's going to be doing a rundown on there. And then me and Cary will be doing some videos following that too, with some bargain box tips and some other stuff. So, Tim, would you like to do the rundown of the members, or Cary, one of you guys?
I got it. Ready. I'm ready. All right, here we go. Buy a case members. Todd Cart, 1971. Great year, Dom Perignon. ACW Cards. Flip 316 says, I forgot what he says, but he told us what he said in the comment section of a YouTube video a couple of shows back. Vintage sport flips with no S. Shout out Keith with an F.
Well, there's an S on the flips.
There is, but not on the sport.
You have to be more okay. You have to probably say where the S isn't and where it is.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
The greatest, the world famous comedian. He's top 30 comedian in the state of Cleveland is Buster Chestnut.
In the state of Cleveland. Guys.
See what I did there? Yeah.
Buster You're in the
Chestnut,
land. Check him out.
Sports card with Chef in the kitchen whipping it up. Neon Penguin, the supplier of our stickers. Cardboard Bambino, the great Bambino himself. Where Yin's at? Shout out to Nick. Big Tom. Shout out Big Tom. If you guys aren't following Big Tom.
He's been putting up a ton of videos on Instagram, guys. Go check him out.
Follow Big Tom Sports Cards on Instagram. The biggest Cubs, Bears, Bulls fan I've ever met in my life. Mr. Deezy Money, 1167. And then we got the one and only one-stop shop for your sports cards, flannels, utility knives, and cast iron pans. Porter and Son Trading. So shout out to Porter and Son.
We're assuming some of those.
Allegedly. All right, allegedly.
And moving on to our fast-paced end of the commercial, we have Value Box, Lodi Sports Cards, Brown, Jordan, Shaky, 1994, Laxon and Philly, Bigo, Chrono Rig, Diltrons, Yarbs Yard, and everybody's favorite channel deleted. And our Byron Box crew fine print is going to be Derek Kramer, 1595, Hearthstone, 2575, Pete Bird Cards, Yam Starts, Tank 211, Chubby Rico, and Dumb Bluck 2929.
Nicely done, my friend. Nicely done.
I'm pretty sure they all left thinking we got our money's worth.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, we actually got 2 new members.
Oh, we did? Yeah. Yes.
Benji.
Oh, listen. You know what? This just reminded me. Dusty Box Treasures says that he is still by a case and wants to know why the hell we haven't said his name for 4 months.
We're waiting for him to comment. That's what we were doing, Dusty. It was a test and you passed. So now you're back to the by case list. All right.
So shout out Dusty Box Treasures. I told him, he's like, dude, how come nobody says my name on the podcast? I was like, I don't know. I have to ask Rod. He's the one that sends me the list. So
yeah, that's probably a typo. Yeah. So you're back on the list there, Dusty.
Dusty
Sorry,
Box Treasures.
Dusty Box.
I need to update
this list. But we
that's super cool. I just saw on my phone you writing it.
Yeah.
Look, Cary just stopped it. He's put it in there too.
So we got 2 new members. It's Fezzy for buy case.
This bag is on the list.
I thought
Fezzy 89.
That is.
Okay, shout out to It's Fezzy
and Benji.
And Benji
589.
Are you sure it's not Benj IV 89 or
Ben
489? Because
sure.
the Roman
Benji 89. Benji 89.
Yeah, maybe it's B.
Benji 589 because the V is a 5.
Benji V9.
Maybe this is dog the 5th.
Yeah, maybe it's Benji V. His last name. He was born in 1989.
Let us know in the comments down below how you want to say.
Let us know what your name means.
Yeah. So
it's Fezzy. That's Fezzy.
I think Todd Cartel just got replaced now with mispronouncing your name. So, but all right, guys, let's get the hands in here. We're ending this. This has just been downhill. All
no
downhill.
Bakers on 3. 1, 2, 3. No Bakers.
Guys, hope you did it. We love you.